Hello, it's Monday, August 22nd, 2016, and as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. Wow, has it been a long time since I sat down here and recorded something? What are we on, 3 weeks now? A lot has been going on. I'm going to fill y'all in on what I've been doing, how I've been doing, what's new, all that kind of good stuff. But first, let me just make sure you can get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me on email at jamoalki@gmail.com, facebook.com/jamoalki, Twitter @jamoalki, and www.jamoalki.info. That's JAMOALKI. And actually, I have a little plea for you guys. I'm not really close, but I'm like just over 100 downloads away from having my 1,000th download for this show. And I'm begging you guys, share me, let other people know if you think someone who does listen to podcasts would enjoy listening to me yammer on for 30 minutes. Please share it. Let everybody know what the show is about. And again, if you feel comfortable with it, don't don't just give it out. If you think the show's not that great, then fine, don't share it. But yeah, I really would like to hit that 1,000 download mark. I was really hoping to have it done by the end of August, and maybe I can just get there. I can put one more show out probably in about a week, just before the end of August. But losing the past 3 weeks kind of shot me down there. Yeah. Also, if you download via iTunes or Google Play or wherever it is you download the show from, if you have a way to rate the show, please give me a great rating, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever, the maximum is. Again, if you think it's worthy of the show. And again, this is not kind of pumping up my ego. This is getting the show out there and more visible on searches so that other people can find the show. So please head on over to iTunes if that's where you get me from and give me a 5-star review. Heck, even leave a little comment review. Say, hey, this guy's awesome, or boy, this guy has a face for podcasts, or whatever you want. That's cool. So yeah, that's all I got to say there. So let's get to it. So I think I filled y'all in on why I would be away. The marriage thing, right? So let me start from the beginning there, though. Just shortly after my last show, I went out to pick up my 2 youngest girls from their home across Lake Michigan and brought them back here to St. Paul to spend a week and a half, 9 days, I guess, here with me and Nora before we headed out to Massachusetts for the wedding. And this is kind of our routine. I'd like to have them here for 3 weeks. I'd like to have them for a month each summer. But I know that's a long time for them to be away from home, their mom, their big sisters, their friends, all that. Yeah. So, perfect world, a month every summer. And then we alternate Christmas, our winter break, and spring break. But yeah, so they come out for a week then, and then whatever chances I have to get back to see them, see my folks, see my friends, things like that. But it is something, it's really special when they get to come out here, and I get to, be that full-time dad, even though it's temporary. It's nice to, see them in the morning, see them at night, see how they interact, and listen to them talk and tell me things and ask questions. But yeah, so they came out here. We had a really good time. We went and investigated the Wabasha street caves. It was pretty informative and interesting. I won't get into the details of it. That's not what this is about. We went swimming at the local public pool. At this pool, there's all kinds of different things. There's a lazy river. I always want to say lazy Susan. There's a lazy river. There's a big, lap pool for the most part, but it's just, ends up people jumping in and splashing and whatnot. There are these climbing walls, 2 of them where you can kind of climb up. It's, 15 feet, and then you get to the top and then you can jump off into the water. I tried that and I got up like halfway, but boy, I really underestimated what kind of strength I've lost and what was needed to kind of get this weight and girth up out of the water and climbing on this wall. And I pretty well just exhausted my hands, my forearms gripping onto the rocks. There's 2 different, they call them cliffs that you can jump off of. And this is all man-made, right? And so the one is probably 10 feet and the other one's probably 15 feet. Really cool. You can just jump off, and that's a good time. And then there's the zip line, which is really cool. You start out, probably 30 feet above the water, and the zip line goes out, another 50, 60 feet. And you can zip line down to hit the bumper and then, jump off or whatever it is you want to do. So I gave it a try, and I probably should have done the zip line before I did the climbing wall, because as soon as I cleared the platform and my body weight was in free fall, I lost my grip on the bar, and I did a little back flop right into the water about 25 feet down. Not my best. Well, not at my best, we'll say. I did vow to my girls that next summer when they come out, I will do it, and I will do it well. Thank you, LL Cool J. Yeah, so and this gets into a little bit I'll get to later, but I realized I really need to lose some weight, get in better shape, build up some muscles. We had some of the best ice cream you can find in the world at Grand Old Creamery. Say what you want about political differences and whatnot, but it is the ice cream shop for Barack Obama here in St. Paul. So, hey, can't go wrong there. If a president likes it, I'm for it too. And then my girls really impressed me. I don't know if I mentioned this. We've got these summer rules here at the house for Nora's kids. And made the decision that when my girls get here, they should follow them as well. And so we got in, I don't know, it was Wednesday night maybe. And, I ride home, right here, I was telling them about the rules, and they're like, okay. And the next morning I got up, with Nora. She went off to work. Girls were still sleeping. And Nora's kids were away. They were with their dad, visiting some of his family. So, I decided to walk up or drive up and get some bagels. So I'm sitting there eating a bagel, and I get a text message from my youngest. She's with, I said, "Oh, where's the broom?" And I was like, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Why?" I'm thinking just something fell down, they broke something, whatever. And she said, "No, it's the job I pulled from the chore jar." And I was like, "Oh, they're just wonderful." I told them this is what's going on, and they were with it. They were right there with the reading and picking a chore and doing something for activity, doing something creative. It's just fantastic. I adore my little ones and my older ones, but a real proud papa moment there. So, we had our fun, and then it was time to pack up. Me and my 2 little ones, Nora and her 2, and we started heading to Michigan to pick up my older 2 girls so we could all head out to Massachusetts to Cape Cod. And so, let me tell you about the Cape Cod trip. It was a good deal of it was stressful, right? We rented a house. So, there was 17 of us in the house. I think there was, including, my folks, Nora's mom, her sister, 2 nieces, my brother, my niece, and all our kids, plus us. And I think that's it. And I took on the role of, hostess or host, I guess, and really tried to just keep things moving, because I was really worried about things going south, just even in one area, which could spiral, to kind of ruining lots of things. Nora was having a lot of anxiety about the wedding itself, not the reason for it, not the marrying me part, but just, having it all come together. And I really didn't want her to have to worry about anything. But so really stressful for her, really stressful for me, just trying to keep things going. But we did it, so that Monday, 8/8/16, we got married at Cape Cod at Skagit Beach. And it was just gorgeous day, hardly clouds in the sky. It was high tide, this beautiful beach, surrounded by our families and brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, parents, all that. My best friend Dave and his wife came out for the wedding, and it was just fantastic. So, hey, I'm married again, and I think you all know that story. But so this was our social wedding, I keep calling it. And after the wedding, we had a toast back at Nora's dad's house where we were having the reception, and I gave the toast, and I did explain to everybody, how just about a year ago we got married at a civil ceremony because Nora wanted to ensure that I had access to health care. So I told everybody that, but 8/8/16 is the date that we will recognize as our wedding for our anniversaries going forward. So we did that. Lots of beach going. Cape Cod is kind of a narrow, jut of land. So there's inside beach. There's outside towards the Atlantic beach. Very different from each other. Did all that. Visiting with Nora's parents, Nora's dad, Nora's stepmom. Just really good time, and everybody got along really well, and I was really impressed and happy with how it all worked out. So inevitably, the thing that I wasn't looking forward to was the trip back home. I even told Eric, my therapist, that I was, as good as I was feeling going into the wedding event, the whole thing, I was really anxious. I'm not anxious, I guess I don't feel anxious. I was concerned. I was interested, I guess, to see what I would be like once I got home, having dropped my kids off at their home. So, we started the drive, and I was half expecting to almost like get sadder and sadder as the miles went on. But it didn't happen. We took off from the Cape early on a Saturday morning, and drove about, I don't know what it was, 350, 400 miles, stayed at a hotel, and then it was another 400 miles to my folks' house where the girls were going to go up to their home from there. And I was really expecting kind of along the way just to start getting sadder and sad. And I was surprised it didn't happen. I was feeling pretty positive about it. So, we got to my folks, and the plan was for the older girls to drive the little ones back home with them. They weren't quite ready to let go. So I said, okay, it's just another hour and a half. Let me drive them back up there, and kind of got them settled in, and then drove back to my folks' house. So we're up Monday morning, heading back to Minnesota. And off we go. And things are still pretty good. I'd pushed for, maybe driving on my own without one of the two kids from here, just to kind of listen to podcasts and have my kind of decompression time. But the older one here wanted to ride with me, and hey, I'm the stepdad, and she's wonderful. So off she came. And it was doing really good till about 3/4 of the way home, somewhere in Wisconsin, I think it was. It just occurred to me that my youngest wasn't there, and she's the most affectionate one. She's none of that, not into that kind of teenage weirdness, preteen weirdness of, hugging dad and kissing dad and stuff. And a lot of times when we were driving, she actually rode in my car, and I'm sorry, Nora took her car, I took my car because of the number of people we had. And she would sit up front with me, and she would read, and she just read, a lot of the time. She would, the kids would play Life on their iPad, or whatever. Yeah, so she was, she'd reach, sit in front with me, and just out of the blue, she'd kind of reach over and hold my hand for a little bit. And then I would do the same thing every once in a while. I would kind of reach over and hold her hand. And, it was I don't want to say a nothing thing, but it was kind of a nothing thing during the times we were driving, right? So here I am somewhere in the middle of Wisconsin, and it hits me that I can't do that now. I can't reach out and grab her hand. I can't hear her voice. I can't, see, all my kids, but, it was my youngest that really kind of hit me. I couldn't see their smiles. And it just, wow, I just started crumbling, and I was, fighting back tears, and, I'd get them pushed back, and then, a mile would go by, and I would, get the inkling to kind of reach behind me to pat my second youngest on the leg, just, hey, how are you? And then, oh no, she's not here. And I would just crumble again. So I ended up, I got a hold of Nora. Hey, one more stop. I think I really need some of my alone time. And she was like, cool. Okay. I'll take the kids. And we stopped at a gas station. She needed gas, and she gave me a hug, and she said, "Just you're gonna come home to me, right?" And I said, "Yeah." We got in our cars. They pulled away. I pulled away. I was a mile down the highway, Interstate 94, and I couldn't see. I was crying, just like I can't remember ever crying. And I never really understood, stinging tears. You read about that in books and whatnot. And I was just crying so much. I couldn't see. My eyes were burning. And I had to pull off. There was one of those emergency lanes that you see on interstates. And I pulled in because I clearly couldn't be driving. It wasn't safe for me to drive. And I stopped, and I just started, oh my gosh, it just, wailing and sobbing, and oh my gosh, all the bad thoughts just came tumbling in. Being a bad dad, if I was a good dad, I'd be with the girls. I just everything. I can't even express them right now. But yeah, so I was there. I don't know how long. But actually, a Wisconsin state trooper came and pulled up behind me, knocked on the window, and I was freaking out, like, oh crap, my life sucks, and now I'm gonna get a ticket or whatever. And he saw how upset I was, and he asked what was going on, and I briefly explained to him, and he was so very kind, and he's like, yep, I've got 2 little ones at home too, and I can't imagine what you're going through. Take some time. We want you to be safe on the road, but we do kind of need you to move off from here as soon as you can. And I thanked him. He gave me a little thumbs up, chuck on the shoulder kind of thing, and off he went. So I spent a few minutes trying to pull myself together so I could drive. I got the idea that, hey, maybe I could record something, kind of get some thoughts onto I don't know, bits on my phone. And I must have started like 8 times, and I couldn't get through really hardly anything. Just talking, and just the image of my youngest would jump through my head, and I couldn't talk anymore. I was crying, wailing. So I tried that a few times, and finally realized I got to pull myself together enough to get home. So I think it was probably like 45 minutes overall that I was in the area. Like I said, I'm not really sure. I didn't pull over and check my watch, kind of thing. But yeah, it was something. It was really emotional, and I think it was good that happened, because I did find myself feeling a little bit better as I got it back on the road, and there was 2 hours to go, I think, till I got home. So yeah, so that was my Monday. And sweetheart, if you're listening to this show, which hey everybody, Nora doesn't listen to the show very often. There's some stuff in here that you don't know about, that story on the highway, for one. and kind of the next 4 days here. So Monday night, we got into our own bed, which was a nice feeling. But all the thoughts came back. All the dark thoughts came back, and I was trying to figure out. I was coming up with a plan, to kill myself. Everything was awful, and I don't know how I can carry on without my girls. And look at me, I can't work. I'm a failure there. Just so many things, and true to every other time I've kind of gone down that road, it all made sense. It was all so rational, and the idea of taking my own life was, again, so rational, so matter of fact. And I didn't see a way that I could make it through the week, much less another 40 years, 50 years, whatever it is. So eventually I fell asleep. Probably didn't take that long because I was really tired, but I woke up the next morning, and Nora was going to work from home a little bit, but basically take the day off to recoup from all the driving. And we were tired, and I brushed a lot off as being tired. So I tried to sleep a lot. I was in, Nora and I were taking an early nap, and early is like 10 a.m. The kids were at their dad's, so there wasn't much going on in the house, and we lay down, and I couldn't get back to sleep, and all the thoughts were just kind of racing through my head. So I got up, and I don't know what I did. I emptied the dishwasher or something, and then I lay down on the couch in the living room, and I came up with a plan, and I had a plan, and really I just needed time for Nora to go to work on Wednesday, and that kind of brought peace to my mind, and I fell asleep on the couch for a good long while, probably 4 hours. And I did. After that I kind of just tried to avoid consciousness, I guess, right? I had a plan. Okay, good. And it's no sense dwelling on anything else. Let me just sleep the day away. Wednesday came. We got up. Nora went to work. I kind of thought that, hey, maybe this isn't the best thing for me to do. So I tried to just stay active all day. I went and got bagels. I don't even remember now. I did, chores. I'd cut the grass. Lots of things that needed to be done since we had been away for so long. So, I before I knew it, Nora was almost home, and I somehow had made it through the day. Lay down to sleep, and the plan came back, and I modified it a little bit. So what I think would make it easier for me to complete the task at hand. Thursday came, and Nora went off to work, and I was just so amazingly down, and not even like the kind of dwelling on things kind of down, not the ruminating on how awful a person I am. I just had no energy to do anything. And, that included following through with the plan that I had. I got back into that, what was that appendix store analogy that I had made. I couldn't piece together what to do, first step, second step, third step to my plan. Like I knew what it was, but I couldn't, it was kind of a vague understanding, but I couldn't get it in motion. And really it came down to, one, I had to go to the store to get what I needed, and two, I needed to find somewhere secluded to do this. It wasn't going to be in the house. Ideally it was going to be It doesn't matter. But somewhere that it would be a little bit before I was found. I don't know why that seemed right or had comfort to it. But anyway, I knew I didn't want it to be in the house, and part of the secluded was I didn't want to have the opportunity to save myself like I did a year and a half ago. So I didn't. I just, the day disappeared, with me in bed. I think I watched some movies or some TV or something, but I just a lot of sleeping, a lot of laying and doing nothing. Friday came and, things seemed slightly better. It was date night. Nora had gotten us tickets to go see Weird Al here in the Twin Cities. And it didn't make sense to me to do that, to kill myself on the day that we were supposed to go to dinner and go see Weird Al. Saturday came. Felt a little better. Still kind of down and not really sure what was going on. Sunday came and things felt a little bit better. I got it in my head that it's time to lose weight and start exercising. I made a tracking spreadsheet so I can track my weight, my BMI, my, basic measurements, things like that. And, today came and, I kind of caught up in the novelness of this weight loss thing. I set an alarm. I got up early so I could eat my breakfast, my Raisin Bran Crunch, and get that down and relaxed before Nora got up. And, we said, well, we're going to walk to the train. She's going to take the train to work. So great. Did that, counting all my calories and MyFitnessPal, which is a wonderful app for doing such things. I went to the gym. Stationary bike, lifted weights. I ran for half an hour on a treadmill. And here I am now. So, I think it's apparent to me that this situation, and we'll call it a crisis situation, went through, I went through it differently than I had before. And I think maybe I'm learning something. Maybe I'm figuring out ways to get past the really down days, and let them ride out and pick myself back up at the other end. Maybe, I don't know. There's still so many things that I'm unsure of, so many things that I'm trying to figure out. I want to figure out ways to stick around while I'm in a good mental state, or at least one of the guys at the DBSA group I go to. And we had a meeting this past Wednesday. They all asked me to talk because I was clearly, in a funk. And everyone there suggested that maybe I should go check myself into the hospital. And I didn't. I probably should have. It was probably really irresponsible of me. And I'm not going to take this as a win, like, hey, I did this without extra help. But I thought about it. I really thought about it. But there's a gentleman there in the group, and he's fond of saying, ask how he's doing. He'll say, oh, I'm at a 0. And, that's 0 is good for some of us. And, I guess that's where I am right now. I've come up from the far down negative, 30, 40, 50. And I think I'm at a 0 right now, maybe, whatever. This analogy's gone too long. But, I'm at some kind of status quo right now. And, I'm thinking about tomorrow. I'm not really thinking about the end of the week or next week yet, but I'm thinking about tomorrow. And I'll take it. So another thing that, so let me sum up that I had, a couple good weeks. And again, good weeks for me are 0s. There's another thing I'm going to get into, the anhedonia that that's going on. And I'll talk more about the wedding week. Maybe next week I'll do this show. But yeah, so I had a couple weeks at 0 and 1 week at who knows, but far lower than 0. And somehow I made it back to my comfy, -1, 0, whatever. And but I've got, at least for today, I've got this kind of goal, this weight loss goal, and I'm hoping it sticks, because it is fantastic distractions. Trying to lose weight, trying to see how many steps I can get, see how my running is going to do, and I've got plans for running more as I lose weight, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, if you're listening and it's really dark, really down, I'm proof that it can get better. I'm not proof yet that it's going to get all better, but I'm hopeful, and I'm still looking for ways to get there. So, yep, that's it. That's it for that story. I did want to share with you guys something else I got from this past DBSA group is a website, www.openpathcollective.org, openpathcollective.org, openpathcollective.org. And I'll give you this little blurb. Founded in 2012 and launched in the spring of 2013, Open Path Psychotherapy Collective is a nationwide network of mental health professionals dedicated to providing in-office mental health care at a steeply reduced rate to individuals, couples, children, and families in need. Since our founding, Open Path has matched more than 3,000 clients across the country to affordable psychotherapeutic care. Additionally, OpenPath has had over 8,000 students sign on to take one of our affordable online wellness classes. So, go check this out and see what you think. See if they've got therapists near you. If you're looking for a therapist, if maybe you don't have insurance, maybe your insurance is awful. Check these guys out. They do have, and this is the quirky part, and this, I got a hold of them today to talk about this. But they do have a $49 kind of registration fee, which is what they use to kind of keep their small staff, maintain their website, things like that. And it's a one-time thing, and you just, pay them, check, credit card, whatever, debit card, a couple other things probably. Sorry, I don't have that. But then, and find a therapist first before you kind of pay that money. But then you find a therapist and you're guaranteed a session rate between $30 and $50, which is crazy. I mean, I think that's fantastic. I mean, I used to have really great insurance where, I think I was lower than that, a deductible, $20 deductible. But now I know with the insurance that we have, we pay more than that out of pocket with insurance. So it's definitely worthwhile to check out. If you guys have questions about it, they've got, a phone number, a text messaging number. You can send them email. Their phone number and their text messaging is kind of tied to kind of normal business hours, like 8 to 5 East Coast time. So do keep that in mind. But, the communication I've had with them myself has been great. Folks are really helpful. I've verified costs and things like that. I said, hey, what if I pay the fee, I go see a therapist, and then I drop out for 2 years, and I come back, do I have to pay again? Is it no, it's one time. So, and really look at it, for $80 to $100, you've got your first therapy session, which, if you're paying out of pocket, you're paying more than that anyway. And you can see kind of biographies and little snippets about each of the therapists who are in your area. You can send them an email directly, which then, you want to get into your questions about them. And I talked about a little bit on a previous show, hey, try to find out if they're a good fit for you. And you can do all that without spending any money. So check it out, openpathcollective.org. If you're looking for some low cost psychotherapy, they've got psychologists and, licensed social workers, masters of clinical social work, all that. Check them out, openpathcollective.org. Don't tell them I sent you because it's not going to get you anything good. And yeah, I mean, I'm pushing 40 minutes here, so I probably should get going. Again, I hope you all are doing well. I wish I could have got a show out, somewhere within the past 3 weeks, but it just didn't work out. I hope you're all doing well. Johnny, I'm sorry I owe you some emails. Everybody else who's out there, it's been kind of quiet and understandably, but send me a line, make sure, let me know that you're doing okay. Please, if you have the inkling, if you have, any thoughts of someone who might get something out of listening to another guy talk about his depression, share the podcast with them, get them set up, help them download. Hopefully it'd be good for them. Maybe it'll help the two of you kind of get a different bond, kind of open up some things that you can talk about and help each other. Just keep talking, folks. Keep sharing. Keep looking for new things. And, I'll get back to you next week. Thanks, everybody. Be safe and be well.
It's Monday, August 15th, 2016. And as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. Hey guys, in Wisconsin off I-94, had our wedding ceremony in front of our family and friends, and she couldn't have been more wonderful, and all of our kids were there, and our parents were there, and brothers and sisters, and my very good friend Dave was there. My folks stayed 3 or 4 days. Dave stayed 3 or 4 days. And just various timelines for everybody else. But as a group of 8, Nora and I, her 2 kids and my 4, we were out there for a week together, all staying in the same house and whatnot. And so right now I'm on my own in the car. Nora and I just met up, 45 minutes ago. And I told her I really needed some alone time, just to kind of this is gonna be tough. Just to process, last night, not around 24 hours ago, I dropped my girls off at their house back in Michigan. And so for the first time in 3 weeks, so I'm gonna scrap that idea. I can't get what I want to say out without just kind of melting into a mess of tears here, which is what I've been doing for the past half hour. Just